What's up, jabroni?
We got the sun in there a little bit. Okay, and that's check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
How do you want me to sit? Till I'm more at an angle?
Yeah. And then hang on. Get up, dust yourself off, and try again.
Yes, I like that.
That's what Chris Knobloch's crew will try to do tonight at UBS Arena. We get you set for the Oilers and the Islanders right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, live on location. Boston Pizza Westgate as part of the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Tom Gazzola, Hernan, Salas with you. It's going to be really busy, Nancito.
It already is.
Great time. Yeah, a lot of the Nasties and the Islanders right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, live on location. The sun setting behind us.
Yeah.
Coop, we've got a bit of an echo in our ear. If you can take care of that back at EST Global HQ, thank you very much. But yeah, it's a great atmosphere already. There's Patrick from Heavy Hockey. I saw Michael earlier. He had to run to go somewhere, and he's been busy. He had to go get like the jerseys.
Yeah.
I know they're going to have a silent auction. We've got the whole place. Like we had to. I'll put my big fat head in the way of the sun. We had to arrange and change up where we sit. Tony was like, "Okay, you don't have the whole back wall. You got a little bit." But we got it all figured out.
Yeah.
A lot of great prizing. You can see it there. A bunch of St. Patty's Day
stuff. You want me to show some?
Yeah. Grab the toques, actually.
Okay.
And those green shirts. Trace, Sticky Rice from the Combine crew, she folded that stuff nicely. So let's be mindful of Trace. Okay, so we got the toques here. Natsu's grabbing the T-shirts. And in the meantime, I am going to remind everyone that GCL Diesel, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Get in on the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. You can jump into the nasty chat if you're watching live on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. We're at Boston Pizza Westgate, 170th Street, 90th Avenue, and the prize giveaways are fantastic. Tony said these toques. You want to do the modeling, or you want to show it off?
Yeah,
okay, these
toques
just came in from Molson. Very nice. They got the stripes. You get the little Molson love at the back, and then nicely embroidered Oilers logo. And it's like a good embroider.
Yeah.
You know, you get the ones that are kind of sloppy
it's the
sometimes.
pro stuff.
It's the pro stuff. Yeah. So we got, 5 of these, 4 of these?
Well, 6. We got another one over there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. 6 of those. All right. And then we got like a Coors Light T-shirt, but then we've got the St. Patty's Day stuff. Very timely. Coors Light, the short sleeves, and then there's a couple long sleeves as well. I think there's something on the back, isn't there?
No.
Okay, so it's just St. Patty's Day Coors Light stuff. That's on Monday, of course. Perfect day to have off, like I do.
Really?
I do.
Look at
Awanic
you.
made me take it off. And then what else? We have, a Bluetooth speaker.
Yes.
That's going to be the grand prize. We also have some Super Bowl leftovers, some Coors Light hats, and a bunch of Boston Pizza GCs. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see a lot of action in the background here at Boston Pizza Westgate. They also have over my shoulder, I'm pointing to it, the Coors Light golf simulator, $20 an hour if you want to rent it. Probably the best rate in the city. One thing that the Oilers don't want to be doing is golfing early this spring.
Ooh.
They're not playing well enough to kind of garner a lot of faith in the fan base right now, Nancito. I know you and Gager were talking about it on EST afternoons, but not a lot of reason to be positive right now. 5 wins in 15 games, 3 and 7 in the last 10. What would you tell people right now?
It's a tough stretch for the Oil. They're not getting a lot of the secondary. It's not even secondary scoring. They're getting nothing outside of the Draisaitl and to a certain extent Corey Perry. But, and it's not just goaltending. It's not just the defensive play. It's not just off the rush chances. It's everything right now for this team, which is frustrating. And, you look at the Islanders, they have a horrible power play. They're at 12%. And they have a horrible
PK. Are they even at 12? Are you rounding up to be positive because it's Friday?
No, it's 12.6, I think. 12.6, and their penalty kill is at 70 point something. So the Oilers, and Tom, we were going through the lines, of the Islanders. And Gager said, I don't care about on paper anymore. I said, I agree, but on paper, this game should not be close. And for me, the Oilers, all they have to do is, if they show up and work hard, and, pay attention to the details, they should win this game because they're better.
That sounds like Monday, and that sounds a little bit like yesterday's pregame. And don't get me wrong, actually, the New Jersey Devils are a good team. The Islanders, surprisingly, they get rid of Brock Nelson. They're 5 points out of a playoff spot going into action today, so they're kind of still desperate. And I know that they've lost their last 2 games, but they've won their last 2 home games. They're back at UBS Arena tonight. The Oilers on the road. Their road record 13-2, and it's sort of slipping away a bit here. And awful time to go on a slump. And now it's a prolonged slide for the Orange and Blue. And people want answers, and even the coaching staff doesn't have a lot of them. Did Reed give you the stat about their record on the island this century? Was it something like that? I know he told me earlier. He didn't give it to me. I can look it up.
I think it's 1 win.
I think I was there for that win.
Yeah. For real? Was that the James Neal hat trick or 4-goal night? No, you weren't with the team then.
No, I was with TSN at that. I was working with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was you and I, big boy.
So it was that game then.
So on Long Island, we're looking at this since 2000. He's talking about this century.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well let's start 2000, 2001, or we're gonna go 99, 2000. Let's go 99, 2000. Submit. See what the stats show us. 4-11-2.
Wow.
Their last win on the island was October 18th, 2019, a 5-2 victory. They did win in 2017. They did win in 2016. I was there for those ones. I remember the McDavid overtime winner. But they started the new millennium with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight losses.
Okay, so Reed checks in. He says Oilers at New York Islanders this century, 3-11-2, 1 regulation win.
Okay, yeah, 3-11 because that win that I'm talking about, the 4th one, actually came in 99. So I should have started 2000, 2001. Yeah. So they won December 14th, 1999, and then they didn't win again on the island until 2016.
Wow.
Well, they went in Boston. They were even worse. It was like 1996 to 2019.
Yeah.
It was something like that. It was absolutely atrocious. So we'll see if the Oilers could get a win on Long Island facing the New York Islanders. We will get to starting lineups in a little bit. We are going to touch base with Greg Picker from the Islanders broadcast. He is their radio color man. Greg's been covering the Islanders at least a decade now, and he'll give us the scoop on what's going on with, of course, your text as well. Do you want to throw out a question of the night? Do you have one?
I don't, but let me think of one. Give me 1 minute. No, I should have been
Orca Driver texting in says, is this a slump or is this just who the team is this year? I'm going to go with slump. I'll be positive. But you're doing a grimace right now. And
no, I'm just saying it is a slump because for 2 months they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league.
22-6-1 between mid-November to January 31st.
Yeah. I do have a question, though. Before we get to our guest, I saw Coop said he's ready to go.
Okay.
There's 17 games remaining. So for Oiler fans, and this has been a big topic since last night, should the Oilers just run with the nuclear option from here on in and hope to have other lines step up? Or do you want to see a permanent move where it's Leon and McDavid on separate lines and then they'll get together once in a blue moon, like after a PK? So let us know. Nasty chat or the inbox 780-218-9999.
I like what the morning show was saying that we can't even call it the nuclear option. We just call it the last resort.
Sure.
And then the boys are going to create that Papa Roach last resort cover song for the morning show. I think that would be wonderful. All right, Greg Picker is standing by at UBS Arena as we get you set for the Oilers and the Islanders. We're live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate. It is part of the Heavy Hockey Showdown in support of the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, trying to raise $50,000 for SACE. If you didn't catch it, they lost some funding. I believe I'd have to double check, but I think it's government related.
Yeah.
And so this fundraiser is a big boost to SACE, and we're trying to raise as much as possible. 50,000 is the goal. Earlier today, I think we eclipsed 20,000, so a long way to go still. All right, if you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, our EdmontonSportsTalk.com audio player, text us 780-218-9999. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, and get into the nasty chat, of course. Let's go to Greg Picker down on Long Island. Greg, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hopping on today. I know you're a busy boy. Let's dive right into what's going on with the New York Islanders. The big trade, Brock Nelson sent to Colorado. We're hearing that Kyle Palmieri is going to re-up with this team. They've dropped their last 2 games. Has it been crazy around there, or has it been business as usual?
I mean, I think you go back before the trade deadline, and there was a very, very good chance we knew Brock Nelson was going to be traded, and I'm sure you saw the video after the last home game here when Brock was the number 1 star and did the on-ice interview with Shannon Hogan, and it was emotional. And she started off saying, like, we're going to go there because the word was out there that there's a very good chance he was going to be dealt with the contract situation he was. And here's the first time back on home ice since he was traded to the Avalanche. And think about it, he's been a pretty durable player, so he hasn't even missed that many games yet. He has missed from time to time, but over a decade since the Islanders played a home game, and Brock Nelson was not part of the roster. It was the 2012-13 lockout shortened season. He actually made his debut in the playoffs that year and has been a mainstay ever since. So there have obviously been pretty big names that have come and gone on Long Island since then, but Brock made up the 4th most games played in franchise history. So when someone like that is no longer on the team, it's certainly a strange feeling.
Craig, Hernan here. They sit right now 5 points back of the last wild card spot in the East there. What's the realistic expectation here that they can make a real push here to get into the playoffs?
It's not going to be easy, just not because of the 5-point factor, because they made it, and they were 6 points out even deeper into the season last year. And the Islanders actually finished the year 8-0-1 to make the playoffs, picking up points in the last 9 games of the year. But you're more than, it's not just the 5-point factor, it's the fact you have 4 teams in between as well. And hey, Brock Nelson's no longer on this team, so you're really going to have to maybe have a great run from Ilya Sorokin, which we did see late January. He went on a fantastic run and led the Islanders to 7 straight wins. So that would kind of have to be the requirement to get this team into the postseason. Over those 7 games that he won consecutively, he didn't give up more than 2 goals in any of those 7. And that's what allowed the Islanders to get back into the playoff race. They never quite got back into a wild card position at the end of any night, but they were 1 or 2 points out on a lot of those nights, and have fallen back a little bit here. But there hasn't been 2 teams in the Eastern Conference that have been able to gain traction and jump ahead of the entire pack. So even Columbus now, who everybody's chasing on the outside, looking in, they've lost their last 2 in regulation. And the Islanders went out to California, put together a win over the Sharks to start it off. You're going into Anaheim the next night, and you have a chance to at least guarantee yourself a winning road trip. But we're not able to get the job done against the Ducks. And then, obviously, the toughest of the 3 whenever you go to California right now are the Kings. And the Islanders fell in that one, going 0 for 8 on the power play, something that they had not done since 2008, going scoreless on the power play and having at least that many advantages.
Greg, I'll tell you one thing. Oilers fans know all about blowing games against the Anaheim Ducks. They did it in absolutely spectacular fashion last week on home ice. Greg Picker joining us now from the Islanders radio broadcast. Greg, when this Islanders team is playing well at the top of its game, I know you're talking about the goaltending. There's a bit of envy in Edmonton for what the Islanders have between the pipes right now. What else does this team do well when it's at the top of its game and having success?
Obviously, the structure needs to be at its best, where at times it hasn't always been. But you also look at the rotating cast on defense for a while this year. With twice this season, the Islanders have gone through a spat of injuries on the blue line. It was early November where 3 defensemen were injured on the left side in one game. So had to go with a makeshift D for a little while after that. And then it was in January again. Same type of thing happened on the right side of the blue line. And that's when in 1 week the Islanders picked up Tony DeAngelo, Scott Perunovich, and also Adam Boquist. So it's kind of tough to play the exact style and get everybody on the same page right away when it's your half your blue line that it's kind of a mishmash. But those guys have fit in, and DeAngelo's fit in well. And DeAngelo plays on both ends of the ice where he can make a stretch pass that very few guys in the NHL can make. And then, obviously there's some, on the other end, that type of plays that you don't always see helping you win games. So defensively, the Islanders just have to be able to play that structure that they were known for, let's say, in those Barry Trotz days when they were one of the best, most stout defensive teams in the National Hockey League, and you're not leaving Ilya Sorokin out to dry. Like, sometimes that has been the case.
Craig, we're assuming that the Oilers are going to start with McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line tonight. If that is the case, which line there for the Islanders do you see matching up with the top Oilers line?
I would probably say the J.G. Pajot, Simon Holmstrom, Anders Lee line. Holmstrom and Pajot are a fantastic combination, shorthanded. And yes, penalty kill hasn't been at its best this season, but they are a dynamic duo. And Anders Lee is the third member of that line. And, he hasn't always been known for, let's say, the defensive side of the game. He put his 25th goal in the season the other night 7 times. He's done that now in his career. But I think Pajot is probably the centerman that you are going to see going up against them. Either way, if it's him or Horvat's line, which is Phil Horvat with Kyle Palmieri and Anthony Duclair, face-offs are always crucial when you're going up against a duo like that on the other side of the ice. And Pajot and Horvat are 2 of the top 4 in the NHL in face-off winning percentage, and the Islanders as a team are number 1. So if you can win those draws, then you're limiting possession from the opponents, and that's always key.
Greg, last one for you here. The Oilers have been struggling, like we said, quite a bit, especially since February. 5 wins in the last 15 games. That's been talked about a lot around Edmonton, not surprisingly. 3-7-0 in the last 10. How do you think the Islanders are looking at this Oilers team and approaching them tonight? And what type of strategy might we see from New York when it comes to taking away 2 points from the Oilers and inching closer to a potential playoff spot?
Well, over the years, whenever you're going up against a team that has the likes of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, you can't always stop those guys. You just try to do your best to contain them. And if the Islanders can contain that combination to maybe only 1 goal tonight, that would be a job well done. And you can probably come out of this one with 2 points, which are much needed for the Islanders to stay in that race. As you said, only 5 points back coming into action tonight. So with a light schedule in the Eastern Conference, you win tonight and you're all of a sudden only 3 points back and you're even engaged with Columbus. It's not even as if Columbus has games in hand on you. They have the night off, so it's a big test for the Islanders tonight, and crucially it could be just a couple of wins out of the playoff spot, trying to get there for the 6th time in the last 7 years.
Greg, always a pleasure. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the insight into the Isles tonight. Have a great call, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon, all right?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
There's Greg Picker. He is the radio color analyst for the New York Islanders. Great stuff from him. So the Islanders, who sold at the deadline, are going to themselves tonight. So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, they're looking across, and like we've been saying all season, the Oilers get every other team's best game for the most part. And they're looking at a team that it's fragile, sure.
Yeah.
And you don't think Patrick Roy is looking and saying, boys, these guys are there for the taking. We get that first goal, they're done. Like, seriously.
Honestly.
They're gonna go. If they don't start nuclear, they're going to go and do that. So I I think Patrick Ross going to have the boys ready to go. They've been outscored 8-2 in their last 2 games. They're on a 2-game losing streak, as are the Oilers. But, yeah, it's going to take a lot. And I think the most concerning part, I think, for many fans is there's a potential to get goalied because Sorokin is an outstanding goalie if he is the starter, right?
He is confirmed for tonight.
Oh, he's confirmed for tonight. So,
and actually, that's a good thing that you brought that up because we should get into starting goalies and starting lineups and in the injury report as well. Before I get to the injury report and the starting lineups, do you want to throw out the question of the night one more time?
Yeah. Should the Oilers, for the rest of the season, go with McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line, or do they need to permanently separate them and go to them, after a PK just for a shift here? Spot duty.
Situational.
Because last year, what worked for Knobloch? Separating them.
Yes.
But now you had more secondary scoring.
Trusting your other lines to go out there and fulfill their tasks. Whether it's to play good defensively, whether it's to generate offensive opportunities, whether it's to tilt the ice and just get some zone time, wear down the defense. Each line had an identity for the most part. I know that went away when they went nuclear, which they did a lot last year too. But this year, what do we have for terms to describe the bottom 6 last game yesterday? Anemic. Neon beige. That one was great. Whoever texted that one in. Diet vanilla. With some great terms for that. So,
I'm just waiting to see lineups. I know Knobloch did speak. I did see a message saying Jones is out, but I won't confirm that until we see confirmation.
Reed Wilkins says Jones is out.
Okay.
Janmark is in, and we know Pickard's starting. So we'll give you the lineups when the teams hit the ice for warm up. We'll give you the Oilers' actual lineup. So let's just hypothetically go through this. Starting lineups is always brought to you by Southfort Chev. We are officially in Truck Month, which comes with deeper discounts, lower interest rates, and Silverados on HDs. We'll be seeing those discounts. 0% for up to 72 months on Silverado Custom and Custom Trail Boss. The Silverado is built in Canada. 90-day payment deferral or $10K cash back with the purchase of a new vehicle. Conditions do apply. See dealer for details. www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at Southfort Chev. So we did see McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman yesterday. Draisaitl had Skinner and Arvidsson on his line. Henrique was with Podkolzin and Brown. Kapanen had Jones and Perry, but now you've got Janmark in there. So Janmark maybe, if they don't want to tinker too much, I know we heard Knobloch talking about Henrique and Arvidsson, and I think it was Skinner on that, and he's like, I like what they did. They had some chances and a couple of scrambles in front, which I thought were quite non-threatening, but I think you're grasping at straws and you want something to go your way, and that was one of the few things outside of the nuclear line or the last resort line that was actually working. So
the last resort line.
Yeah, I know. I think it's great too. I'll assume that Henrique, Skinner, and Arvidsson are together, and then we'll see Podkolzin slide back up with Draisaitl and Arvidsson, and then Kapanen slides over to the wing, and Janmark goes center ice on the fourth line. Kapanen 38% on the dot as a centerman, so that's great. Minus 16, that's a team worst. On defense, Wallman with Bouchard, Nurse with Stetcher, Kulak with Everson, and Max Jones comes out. As for the New York Islanders, this is what we anticipate from them. Bo Horvat with Anthony Duclair and Kyle Palmieri, J.G. Pajot with Anders Lee and Simon Holmstrom, Casey Cizikas with Hudson Fasching and Maxim Siplikov, Kyle McLean between Pierre Engvall and Mark Gatcombe. On the defensive side of things, Alexander Romanov with Tony DeAngelo, Noah Dobson with Adam Pelech, Scott Mayfield with Ryan Pulock. Between the pipes, we know it will be 32-year-old Calvin Pickard for the Oilers, 15-7 record, 276 GAA, 896 save percentage, 24 games played this year. Pickard lifetime versus the Islanders, a 1-1 record, 374 goals against average, 875 save percentage in those 3 appearances that he has had against New York Islanders, not Rangers. We'll see the Rangers on Sunday. As for those Islanders, between the pipes, it will be Ilya Sorokin, he's not 34, but Sorokin, 24-20-4 this season, a 2.77 GAA, 906 save percentage with 3 shutouts in 48 games this year. Sorokin versus the Oil, 3-1, 242 goals against average, 931 save percentage, 1 shutout in 7 games versus Edmonton. And Sorokin is 29 years old. Jake Allen was 34. I clarified that.
I was like, damn, he's old.
No, he's not that old. He's not that old.
And he's been good against the Oilers.
Well, you see what I did here. I had Joaquin talking to me, and then
it's a distraction.
We had Koob was busy. Koob
Smitty the Welder came in.
Good to see Smitty the Welder.
Yeah, good to meet him.
And Allison, his girlfriend. Very nice to meet. Were they married? No, that's his girlfriend. I think so.
Yeah.
Smitty the Welder came in with Allison. They're great. Nice to chat with them. He's in a darts championship this weekend in Vegreville, so drive safely. The roads are a lot better than they were last night for sure. Let's go to the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportsmed.ca. Nancito, do the honors, please.
All right, for the Edmonton Oilers, Matthias Ekholm, day-to-day illness, lower body injury. John Klimberg, day-to-day undisclosed, but we think it's lower. Trent Frederick, IR ankle. Alex Regula, IR knee. Evander Kane, LTIR, abdominal surgery and knee surgery. And for the good old New York Islanders, Adam Boqvist, day-to-day upper body. Matthew Barzal, IR kneecap. And good old Varlamov, IR lower body.
That is your Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report.
Smitty says it's his wife.
His wife. Yeah. Sorry, Smitty. My bad. My goodness. Allison, and drive safely, Smitty and Allison. Great to have you guys in the EST Global HQ. All right.
Shaggy in St. Albert says, to quote Clubber Lang, my prediction is pain for the Islanders. Well, right on, Shaggy. Way to be positive.
Hey, Anthony on Long Island, by the way. Oh, yeah,
that's right.
Sending in a great photo. Says, representing all the way on Long Island, boys. Anthony, I'm assuming that's your boy. Oh, he's got the EST sign. Very nice. It
says, well done.
EST, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, EST 1260, a nod to the old shop. Great Hockey Night in Canada cap, and then a McDavid Erie Otters jersey.
Awesome.
That is a great look. We're going to have to post that on our socials. That's how you do it. Anthony on Long Island. Well done, sir. Round of clicks to you.
Yes.
Round of clicks to you.
That was awesome.
I love it. Amos Moses saying, is that someone wearing an Arvidsson jersey behind you? No.
It's busy here.
That's Norman at Combine. That's a Talbot jersey. There's Big Uke back there. The whole Combine crew is here. We got Rob from the Grove is here. Oh, it's a great turnout already. Corey B is here. He said that the lunar eclipse yesterday was underwhelming.
Oh, okay.
But he needed to go blow off some steam after that Oilers loss. And then VR Montenegro is here. The Heavy Hockey crew is here. Dash in the Park was also showing off the jersey. Dash, we'll get you in a little bit to come by, okay? In like 20 minutes. We got to get to Cass for Game Changers, but so far so good right here.
Let's go. Let's go Oilers.
How is it over here?
How is it over here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going well. Yeah, we're getting full. Parking lot's getting full. It's
parking's hard.
The silent auction's on its way up and up and up.
Okay.
Going good.
Good. Okay, Dash in the Park's going to join us a little bit. You're going to get like in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So at about 5:20. Okay, we'll get Dash on to give us an update on everything that's going down with the Heavy Hockey Showdown. I see Cass is standing by, so we're going to get to him. We are live on location, Boston Pizza Westgate, in support of the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Big thank you to Tony and Curtis. Faith in the entire crew here at BP Westgate on 170th and 90th Avenue, raising money for the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. If you'd like to find out more, maybe donate, we have a link in our YouTube description. And then those that are listening, you can go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. In the header, you'll see Heavy Hockey Showdown, HH Showdown, and then the details will be there. A big thank you to Coach Pete, Pizza Boy, and Mike Crosby. Pizza Boy and Coach Pete are the head coaches tomorrow between Team EST and Team Heavy Hockey. And then Mike is going to be, he paid half price to be assistant coach, which is absolutely tremendous. That put us at that point over 20,000.
Dusty's already asked the coach not to play him on defense.
That is a great request. I respect that very much.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in our game analyst, Matt Kassian, for Game Changers. As always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city, which is hugely important. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass coming at us from the satellite studios in Sherwood Park. I know you were toying with the idea of joining us on location, but we are back here on the 27th, Cass. We would love to have you here.
Yes.
But you're coming at us from the confines of your home. Yeah.
Plan is to be there. I gotta make it. I got to make it. So I had some.
You got to. Cass, you got to get your microphone set up as well, because we're getting your computer mic for whatever reason. So do you need to rejoin us, or are you going to be okay? Reconnect?
Yeah, I'll
what do you say?
have to reconnect if it's not
okay, Cass is going to reconnect. He's going to get his mic set up.
I'm just scrolling Twitter for the lines,
okay.
So as soon as I get them, I'll let you know.
Let's go to the inbox, 780-218-9999. By the way, great vibe here already. Shout out to everybody involved. This is fantastic. You saw Dash showing off the new jerseys.
Yeah.
They look great. Rob from the Grove says, Tommy, Norm's jersey is a unicorn Steve McIntyre. Oh, it's not even a Cam Talbot. That's great. All right. Thank you, Rob. Rob's wearing his jersey. He says he's switching it up tonight, too. Duffman texting in says, tonight is the start of 3 and 4 in a row. Let's go. And then Cole Harbor Joe says they're not going to get secondary scoring by giving the other forwards 12 minutes a night. Keep them apart and get the other guys going now, or it's going to be a much longer offseason this year. And Juan says, I don't care if they go nuclear. Just win the... Let me do it.
Do it.
Let's... And he says, just win the game. It's good to have the board back. My board.
Your board. Shaggy St. Albert says, Hernan, read the rest of my text. Well, if you weren't... I can't really read it,
Shaggy
but
using a lot of expletives?
No, but I said that he was saying pain for the Islanders. He's not. He's thinking the Oilers have a good first 10 minutes and then absolutely blow it.
Well, they tend to do that. Shaggy's kind of got a point.
If I'm reading Shaggy St. Albert's text, it's not a positive one.
Well, Shaggy has a high demand for the team.
Yes, he does.
We know this. This is not news. All right, it looks like Cass is good to go. Cass, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to rock. Yes, sir. Let's bring him in. Our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Zach, bring him on. There we go. Cass, good to go. You're sounding nice and clear now.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what that was picked up. Everything was plugged in and set, but hey,
you
whatever.
know how
Restart
it
the
is.
system.
The system does this sometimes. Doesn't pick up the right gear. It happens.
Like the Edmonton Oilers. Sometimes they don't pick up the right gear. Right, guys?
Well done. Well done.
You put all the pieces together and it still doesn't work.
Yeah, it's frustrating. That's for damn sure. And we'll see if they can make things a little bit easier for the fan base and themselves tonight. Now in third place in the division, by the way, the Edmonton Oilers, after LA won last night. Edmonton has played one more game than the Kings, but the focus and the task at hand is on the New York Islanders. So with that being said, Cass, number 1 on Game Changers is always brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Net front. Thank you, Cass. Thank you.
Oof, both offensive and defensive net front. The presence has been... There hasn't been a presence. Right there, it hasn't been defensively or offensively. I mean, we saw the Oilers give up goals by not boxing out, by not clearing the front of the net, and by losing the net front battles. And we continually saw, and Knobloch talked about it. You guys already even mentioned it a couple minutes ago. There was basically nobody ever in front of the net against the New Jersey Devils. You had Henrique's line do it for like 10 seconds, maybe, sort of, in one shift. It wasn't sure. That was kind of it, but. Man alive. You want to talk about being hard to play against, and you want to talk about being like a good team playing a desperate type of game. You can't play desperate on the perimeter. You can't throw pucks in on NHL goalies only from the outside and hope that they go in. Yes, every once in a while you're going to get a tip. Yes, every once in a while you're going to get a boosh bomb and the puck's just going to beat the goaltender. But most of the goals in the NHL are scored within that 5 to 10 feet range in front of the net, which the Oilers have not done a good job of just battling there, getting there, played there, being rugged to get there. And then in their own zone, they've done a horrible job. I just about used a different word there. A horrible job of clearing out some of their own net front things, which is a little bit of a fear to me with this, especially with Matthias Ekholm out here. I mean, Darnell Nurse will clear the front of the net, but the rest of the guys, I mean, it's not like they're big bodies and it's not like they're overly physical. And I know that Emberson has some of that in his game, but he doesn't play an overly significant amount of minutes where he's doing that or able to do it against the top lines on a night in and night out basis. It's just, they have to find ways to play the game better in front of their own net and in front of the net tonight of the New York Islanders. Because guys, as you've seen and everyone sees, it's been a poor effort.
Cass, that's and like Knobloch's taking a lot of heat, but I don't think that's coaching. That's on the players. They got to want to battle in there.
Yeah, it's on the players ultimately. Now some weight could fall on the coaching staff. Like if this isn't something that they're emphasizing, then there is an element of saying, well, yeah, they're not emphasizing it. It's the coach's problem to not have that be a point of contention that you're bringing up over and over again. But at the end of the day, Hernan, you're right. The players have to get there. And maybe it's just watching too much McDavid and Draisaitl. I don't know. But, the guys up and down the lineup outside of Corey Perry just have not done enough of a job of getting to the front of the net and being nasty at the front of the net. They just haven't.
I was going to point out something, but I'm going to leave it for point number 3, which is aptly named, and I think I know where you're going with it. But we do need to get to point number 2 on Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Point number 1 was net front. Point number 2, Battle of the Weenies.
Yeah, Battle of the Weenies. So there was a card game I used to play, or we used to play, war with my brothers. You flip over the cards and you go. And every once in a while, you have like a 2 or a 3, and you end up having a war with the other person, and you just know that you're going to have to put your best cards in there. And we always used to call those the Battle of the Weenies. So your 2 worst cards going at one another. And for the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders, this weenie battle has to do with their penalty kill for both teams, because the penalty kill for both teams is absolutely horrific. For the New York Islanders coming in at a 70.5% and the Edmonton Oilers at a 75.6%. As you like to say frequently, Tommy, no bueno for both teams.
Nailed it.
An absolute battle of 2 penalty kills that are struggling. The Edmonton Oilers, horrible at the start of the year, were quite good for a period of time, and since the break have been absolutely horrible again. The Islanders have kind of just been horrible throughout the whole process. But an important night for Edmonton's power play to maybe have some opportunity here. And they've been pretty good, clipping along at a decent pace recently. 5-on-5, that's a whole other thing. But power play has been okay. Penalty kill has struggled. So you have 2 absolutely struggling penalty kill units tonight. And it could be one of those nights, especially for Edmonton in a back-to-back game, where you do need your special teams to be the difference. That penalty kill so important tonight. For as horrible as they've been, they have to find a way to be better than the also horrible penalty kill of the New York Islanders.
Well, the Islanders penalty kill, just to reiterate Cass's point, 31st in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
70.5%. They have scored 6 shorties. The power play is worst in the National Hockey League at 11.9%.
11.9. Wow.
Very comfortably in 32nd place. Oilers power play, like Cass was talking about, 26.4%. That is 5th in the NHL. But the PK, Cass, it moved up last night after going 3 for 3 to 24th at 75.6 with 3 shorties scored. But Battle of the Weenies is a very nice way to describe both teams' penalty kill units. It is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Point number 1 was net front presence. Point number 2 was Battle of the Weenies. Nancito, I'm going to give you the honors of point number 3, which I think is hilarious. Go for it, Hernan.
Point number 3, Cass. Poopy diapers.
Poopy diapers.
Poopy diapers. Probably not that comfortable to have on. It's squishy and gross and yucky, and you don't feel very good. And nobody likes wearing a poopy diaper. And the Edmonton Oilers, they have given themselves a poopy diaper. The difference is that you don't have. There's no grown-ups around. They're not an infant. They're not a toddler team. There's no grown-ups that are going to change it for them. No one's coming in to save the day here. You have to find a way to get rid of that poopy diaper yourself and clean yourself off. Pick yourself up, clean yourself off, and move forward. And, they talk about it, and Kulak talks about it and talks about how they're, the answers inside the room, and we're all frustrated, but we know we have to dig our way out of this, and we've heard that multiple times from different players in slightly different verbiages and formats the last week or two here. But the reality is you are now not in second place. You are now not in first place in the Pacific Division. Yeah. And you are now, really, if we look at the wild card spot, as I know Minnesota, is in a different, they're in the different division than you. But guys, you are in danger here of continuing to slip down the lineup. You have one of the worst records in the NHL in the last 15 games. For as good as they were leading up to the break, they have been absolutely atrocious coming out of it, and they have absolutely been struggling. So, no more poopy diapers. We got to get... we go ahead, Tom. It's just
okay,
bad.
Thank you. I was going to say it's Ralph Wiggum going, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
That's where the Oilers are right now. A couple of things, Casa, we'd like to get you to chime in on. Do you want to do the lines? Because we have them. I'm curious to hear Cass's thoughts on the lines, and then I want to hear his response to the question of the night.
These won't last, but here we go. Henrique with McDavid and Hyman. Perry with Draisaitl and Connor Brown. RNH between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Kapanen between Janmark and Jeff Skinner. Wallman, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emberson.
Cass.
Well, it's only going to be like that for about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, my goodness.
30 seconds. I like it. Yeah, it's not going to last. They're going to go nuclear before the end of the first period.
And that ties into the question of the night. Yeah. That's why I wanted to kind of combine those two together, lay it on them again.
Like today on EST, everybody was talking about how often he goes to the nuclear option. You get nothing else from anyone else once he does. So should they just give up and just go nuclear here for the rest of the season and hope to find a trio that works behind them?
No. I don't. How can we like that, guys? How can we like that? We don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I know, and what scares me is comments that you hear from people about well, you know what? It kind of having them away from McDavid or Draisaitl frees them to play their own game. Are you kidding me? Play your own game with McDavid and Draisaitl. That's why you're put with them. You're not put with them to play their game. You're put with them to play your game. And we've seen players have success with them. We've seen Hyman have success with Connor McDavid. We've seen Ryan Nugent-Hopkins have success with Connor McDavid and with Leon Draisaitl. We've seen now Arvidsson. Sure, you want to say, okay, well, he just needs to play his game. Well, he hasn't played his game no matter where he has been in the lineup so far this season. So there's just I don't like it. I get and totally am on board with you come out of a penalty kill situation. They haven't been on the ice. Put them out there together. Sure. Late in the game, last shift in a period, last minute in a period where you can get them out there once together. Sure. Go for it. I get it. You're chasing the game last couple of minutes. Absolutely. Go for it. Knock yourself out. But it's just the over-reliance on in games where you're in, not even games where you're losing. So it's just, I just don't like it. I just don't, not all the time anyways.
Yeah. Well, and these lines dictate that that's the plan here. I'm sorry, but it's
that they're going to go nuclear very quickly.
Like Jeff Skinner, he even praised him last game. Then he throws him back on the fourth line. He praised him last game for one of his better forwards.
Cass, did you catch Chris Knobloch post-game last night by any chance?
Not live. I listened to it today.
You did listen to it. Okay, but I got the sense, I would use that term, sense, listening to it when we were running it live on the post-game show, that he was not even really sure what the hell was going on. And he was kind of searching for answers and speaking in circles. Am I fair to assess it that way? Is that what you picked up on listening to it today?
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? Like, I think that's fair to say that he's trying to figure out what to do. I mean, this is the longest stretch we've seen under Knobloch this team struggle, and kind of struggle with the same things over and over. So, yeah, I mean, if he had the answers, Tom, he would do something. Right?
Yeah.
He would, it would be fixed already. So he's trying to figure it out just like we are too. I mean, we're obviously better at it because we sit behind the camera.
We know it all, of course.
Yeah,
but
everything.
One more on that, because he's kind of come under the gun, and that's natural. When a team's struggling, you look at the coach, and then you're searching for answers. You want solutions. Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he take a timeout in a tight situation? Like, all of those things fall under the spotlight, and that is natural. Now, there have been some people that said, "Oh, he's lost the room. You know what? He doesn't have it anymore." And this is like a month and a half removed from people being like, Jack Adams, Chris Knobloch, Jack Adams. And it's funny how quickly it flips. And the timing of this is odd, interesting, all of the above, because he just coached his 134th game behind the Oilers bench, passing Jay Woodcroft, who is at 133. You know who's coming up soon? Dave Tippett at 171. Ooh. Knobloch has a .653 winning percentage. That is 10 points better than Jay Woodcroft's .643. So to the noise surrounding the coach, what would you respond with?
They're not firing the coach before the end of the season. Like,
no.
I mean, no. Like, just... You can be upset about it if you don't like how he's coaching. You can disagree with it, but he's not going anywhere. Yep. I mean, it's similar to the Oilers goaltending heading to the trade deadline. This is your coach. He's got a good winning record. He took you within one game of the Stanley Cup final, or Stanley Cup champion, like winning the Stanley Cup last season. Get over it. You may be frustrated, but he's not going anywhere. Certainly not right now. So give your head a shake. If you're like, oh no, they need to fire the coach, they're going to fire him. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No.
Yeah. Cass, fantastic stuff as always, my friend. We will catch up with you on the postgame show, okay?
Sounds good.
That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Maybe you're looking to buy a home. Maybe you're looking to sell a home. Call Damon Bunting. Check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit him on Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate. We are live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate. It is the Heavy Hockey Showdown tomorrow in support of the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, looking to get them some much-needed funding. They did have some funding cuts recently, and they had to halt intake, which is awful, obviously, but trying to make the most of the funding they do have. This is a big one for them, and the goal is $50,000. We just eclipsed $20,000 today after the Hangout and the Nielsen Show, which is great. I'll be playing. My brother Paul is going to be playing. Belzy will be playing. We're going to be live on location tomorrow at the Downtown Community Arena just before the game with Hello Hockey. Brian Burke will be joining us. Not live on location, but we'll have Berkey on.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Berkey's great. Belzy and him go back to his Tri-City days. And then Dave Pagnotta will mop up what was a crazy trade deadline. We're going to have a great show. And come on down. It's open to the public, the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Dusty will be on the ice as well. And then the crew from Heavy Hockey, Michael, Dash in the Park, Patrick, who I saw earlier. We're getting a lot of people showing up. We're at BP Westgate. There's going to be a silent auction. And if you're like, how do I maybe donate, or are there some silent auction items I could bid on that the money and proceeds go to the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton? Yes, you can check the link on our YouTube feed, or if you're driving around right now, you can go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com and click on the header, the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Hey, Norm, one sec. Can you give me that headset? Because Dash is here.
Sure, do you want him to sit in for me?
Well, no, let's get that. Thank you very much. Let's have Hernan on there. All right, let's get Dash in the Park on here. Dash, part of the Heavy Hockey crew. All right, Dash, come on in here. First of all, give us an update on what's going down. We got about 5 minutes left before we got to hand it back off to Reed for the conclusion of the Reed Wilkins Show. Where are we at for our funding goal, and what can people take part in tonight here at Boston Pizza Westgate?
You can take part in a lot of fun. So come on down. There's still lots of time, lots of room. The Heavy Hockey Showdown is doing well today. We've raised thousands of dollars.
Excellent.
Thanks to your help on the Hangout, Tommy, and all the generous support we've had for bids on coaches and penalties and everything like that. I think we took it from $20,000, and if I'm not mistaken, we just passed the $24,000 mark. So halfway to our goal with a day to go. So looking good. It's a lot of fun. It's getting packed in here. So
I would ask this, because I try to do it justice as best I can, but I talked about the funding shortfall that SACE is facing right now, how crucial this fundraiser is towards that program. What has happened in the last little bit with SACE, and why is this even more important now?
The Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton obviously is just a massive provider of very essential needs for people that have suffered from sexual abuse. Ultimately, they're kind of the leader when it comes to that in this community, and they reach outside of Edmonton as well. The majority of their funding as a nonprofit comes from the government, and the government cut a very good portion of their funding earlier this week. So having that happen to them is it's devastating, to be honest. If we can reach our goal and we can get to the 50,000, we will probably be about half of the entire fundraising efforts for SACE in an entire year.
Yeah.
So not only are we their premier event and their premier fundraiser, we can, if we can reach that goal, get to 50% of what their entire annual is. For every $97 we raise, give somebody else another hour of counseling. Being at 24,000, that's probably not great with math, but about 400 hours we've raised already, which significantly cuts into wait times. Wait times are close to a year, and that's a really long time when you need help. So super important cause for us, even more so than any other year because of this funding that's been cut. I would implore you, please go to 32auctions.com, 32 Auctions, 2025 Heavy Hockey Showdown. Our silent auction is online. It's live. Everything's ready to go. There's already been a couple $1,000s raised online.
Awesome.
But let's push it. Please, let's push it. There's lots of links. Check your social media. Check Edmonton Sports Talk's website. Go to their link. Donate to them. We'd love to have it, no matter where it comes from. 100% of the proceeds go straight to SACE.
Nice.
Hey, Dash, take it easy on the EST boys, though, eh?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I heard they got just absolutely destroyed last season.
Yeah, we got pumped pretty good.
Yeah, we'll do our best to embarrass them again.
Well, we're gonna work hard. We're gonna work as a team, and we're not gonna be a team that relies on a nuclear option.
Hey,
okay?
Coop has 2 breakaway attempts. So.
Coop does. That's one of the fun things that we've incorporated. What is the incentive? It's like $50, and you can pay for a penalty or a shootout, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? Let's keep it going. We're going to close it on the Hangout. If anybody wants to donate to the Edmonton Sports Talk team, put it in the note with your donation. $50 will get either a penalty for our team or a penalty for the other team.
Yeah.
Somebody paid the Wolf paid $150 for the Coob to get a couple of penalty shots. Ow! And Coop's already practicing, from what I understand.
Yeah, there's a rumor he might do the Linus Omar.
He has to do the triple D, Charlie Conway stuff. And then, if he can incorporate the Linus Olmark with the Charlie Coyle triple D, that would be a chef's
unreal.
kiss.
I'm not going to overthink it, though, guys.
Don't overthink it. There he is. He's chiming in. Quickly, thoughts on the game tonight. Give us your synopsis and thoughts on what the Oilers might be able to accomplish.
Oh, boy. Our history versus the Islanders probably isn't that great, from what I understand.
It is not.
Man, the way this streak's going, it's hard to be positive. I just had a look at the lines. I don't know when you guys put those out. Let me just go about that a little bit for a second.
Cass did the same thing.
Okay, thanks, Cass. You make me feel like I'm not way out there in left field. But you know what? I don't want to be negative on a night like tonight. So I said 4-2, I think, on the show, or 3-2 or something today on the Hangout.
Yeah.
So let's keep it with that. It's going to be 4-2 Oilers with an empty netter in regulation, and let's get her done.
Positive vibes into the universe. Dash in the Park, thank you for stopping by. Great work, my friend. It's going to be a fun night down here.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, boys.
Awesome. That is Dash in the Park. You can catch him on the Heavy Hockey
Okay, well, let's hope the Oilers finish the game stronger than Tom and Hernan were able to. Slight technical difficulties from Westgate BP. Maybe we'll get him back on again if we can. But yeah, getting ready to go. That was the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show. They are at Westgate BP, 170th Street. What would it be? 90th Avenue, right across from the mall there. I'm sure a lot of people know about that location. You can drop by. They got the silent auction going on for Heavy Hockey. The Heavy Hockey Showdown tomorrow, noon to 3 at the Downtown Community Arena. So raising funds to benefit the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. And you can donate through the link in the YouTube description. And I also want to point out that Dennis at Den Wright Mechanical has agreed to sponsor $100 per goal up to $1,000. And his wife works at Nutrien. They will match donations. Dennis is also one of the goalies, so maybe that'll help him be motivated for some saves. So noon to 3 tomorrow. Sean Bell is going to be playing. Zachary Kubish, Dustin Nielsen, Tom Gazzola. Going to be a fun time. Coop, can we adjust the camera? Are we able to get Derek in as well? Final half hour here of the Reed Wilkins Show. Final half hour of the week. Third time in studio.
Yes.
Local boxer, world champion. How many belts do you have again?
I got 3. Defended my last title, the WIBA.
Okay.
Against Farah Albasari from Spain.
Okay, so what are the titles you have again?
Got the WBC Youth, got
Okay.
the WIBA, and NABF.
All right. And the youth one is U22?
U23.
U23 is how old are you?
21.
It's Alexis Kubicki, by the way, if people don't know. And her dad, Derek, because Jay's not here.
Welcome.
So Derek says, I want to be on YouTube.
Well, that's a little bit of an
we put him on-
overstatement.
No, I
but,
think that's pretty much what you said. No, I'm
But
joking.
listen, it was a toss-up between Happy Hour and Earls being here. Clearly, I
Well, you
chose
can
to
do
be
both.
here.
We're not keeping you here to past
I am
about 5:45.
I am committed to be here.
The show does end. I'm not on all day, but thank you for thinking I could do it. Well, thanks for coming by again because you were
Thank you for having us.
you were on leading up to the fight a little over 2 weeks ago. So it was 2 weeks ago tomorrow since you fought.
Yes.
So how did it go? Take us through the experience of that bout.
So as I told you guys that one day later when I was here, I was supposed to have a press conference. Well, that went really well. She was actually getting a little nasty there. She was calling me a little girl, saying that I don't belong in the ring with her. So
What did you say back?
I didn't have to say too much. You know
Alexis
why?
was reserved.
Okay, so wait a minute. So right, because you were here the Tuesday, and then the press conference was it, or you were here the Wednesday?
I
and
was
the press
here
conference,
Wednesday, yes,
and the
then
press conference was the Thursday.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to know, where was this, at Panther Gym?
Yes, it was actually on their live stream.
Okay, so you're sitting there sort of like this, or how
Almost.
far away were you
About
from each other?
2-3 people away.
And she's just trying to insult you the entire time.
Yeah, and she was actually talking to our coach and manager in Spanish a little bit, like when no one was asking her questions, saying that I'm scared, that I don't belong in the ring, that I look intimidated.
Well, so, sorry, how old was she, or is she?
30.
Okay, but she must have known that wasn't going to affect you, or was she trying to test you?
No, she was trying to test me, trying to get me off my game. Well, that didn't happen.
So what did you say back to her?
I didn't say too much. I just told her, like I said, the biggest mistake that she did was signing that contract. And of course, on Saturday night, when you look at her face after the fight, that was her biggest mistake.
It was awful.
She was purple and blue, and she still is to this day.
So how many rounds was it?
It was 10 rounds.
10 2-minute rounds?
Yes. I won majority decision.
So what judge, if you beat her that bad, what judge gave her the fight?
You know, when we were talking...
No, it was a draw. One
gave a draw.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Which was crazy.
So even that seems like that shouldn't have happened.
No, and I think I know what the problem was.
What?
Remember when we were talking about the 40-ounce steak? Well, I
Yes.
think he had that during the intermission. I think
We
that's
did
what
show
got
you-
him off his game.
we did show you the
and
40-ounce
I think
steak.
that's what happened. He ate that 40-ounce steak, and he fell asleep in the 5th round. And
Okay, so how standard is, and I know you're still relatively young, but you're going through this and you're
Yes.
moving up and you're winning belts. I know it's like, I see boxing stuff, but I don't see obviously every single boxing thing.
Yeah.
So is that all they do at boxing news conferences, is just try to insult each other, or will they ever try to give thoughtful answers to questions?
no, they never do. They want to build it up, make it a show right at the beginning. So they want to get as nasty. They want to get into your head, get you off your game so you don't represent yourself well in the ring. and that you can function completely.
All right. So you went through the news conference.
Yes.
And then what else did you do that day? Did you do the stare down?
Oh, we did the stare down.
Before or after she was calling you a little kid?
After, and then the next day was the weigh-ins, and we also did a stare down, which she actually didn't finish a stare down. She walked off because I guess.
Well, how do you know when a stare down is over? That's the question I have.
So usually they would separate us, and then we have to look and do like a face forward to get pictures and all that.
Okay.
Well, she didn't do that. She just walked off halfway through the stare down.
She really didn't like you, did she?
Oh, no, not at all.
Sorry, I'm playing the remote here. I'm trying to get the hockey game to start.
I think what happened because of lack of her success, she has gotten shaken. And this was quite visible, and that's why she walked off. She couldn't, she didn't probably expect.
She sounds like the intimidated one, not Alexis.
Yeah, and if you look at the pictures from the press conference and from weigh-in, you could see that, Alexis' face she's completely composed, and the other girl is really, she's freaking out. You can tell by the body language and if you look at her fist clenching,
right,
facial expression, Alexis was motionless. Like she was so cold-blooded as if she had ice running through her veins.
You're an assassin.
Yes.
All right. So the fight, did it start around 9 like it was supposed to?
Well,
or 10 on Saturday?
No, it went 10 rounds.
No, the time it started.
It started around 9:30.
9:30, and you were ready to go?
Oh, of course I was. My dad was actually surprised. We were in the dressing room. I was nice and chill, calm, no nerves whatsoever. He's like, I never see you like this.
How come you were so calm?
I just I knew that when I came to this fight, that I did everything I need to do. I did what my dad told me to do during the training. I've been listening. I've been improving. And as you can tell, in the fight, all 10 rounds, I was fresh. I was throwing an average of 83 punches per round.
What's the usual average?
Usually, what would you say?
Alexis was delivering at about high 50s, low 60s.
And you were over 80.
Yes. Average 83 punches per round.
So why would one judge call it a draw? Do you get to talk to the judge after and be like, why did you think that?
We're sending actually a letter with to the commission.
So what were the scores? So what were the scores from the other judges?
97-93.
So they had you winning 7 of the 10 rounds, and one judge had it 95-95.
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting. Did you knock her down?
No, I did not, but it was close. 2 times was close to getting a knockdown, but I outpaced her, I outpunched her, and I outpowered her. There was a few times actually in that 8th round, I told her to come in the middle of the ring and fight me. Mm-hmm. And then one time I called her into the corner. My dad's like, "What are you doing?"
But it was the stupidest thing. She's winning the fight. She goes in the middle of the ring, drops her hand.
Oh, don't drop your hand.
Drops her hand.
Even I know that.
And she says, "Come on, let's go." The public is going crazy. People are loving it. But I'm freaking out because we're trying to win the fight. And the last thing I have to be worried about is to keep my daughter composed from doing something silly.
I'm telling her that the little kid is not scared.
Okay, but see, that's the interesting thing about boxing. It's not like, okay, so we're going to have the Oilers game on here. If a team's up 5-1 with 2 minutes left in hockey, like it's over.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So boxing, you can be dominating, but they could still win with one punch.
Yes, that's possible.
So were you not guarding against that?
She didn't fear me. She didn't scare me at all.
But I'm not talking about fear. There's still strategy and thought.
That's why you got to slip the punches. Don't get hit.
Okay.
Pretty risky business. I think I could answer this question better. At that point in the fight, which is no excuse for doing this, Alexis felt so confident the woman could not hurt her. By then she knew she had no power. She stripped her round by round, methodically, from everything she had.
Right.
And by 8th round, Alexis, I think I sent you a picture. Alexis is standing there. The girl throws a punch, a jab, lands on Alexis' chest, and Alexis is looking at her with hands down saying, "Is this all you got?"
Right.
So again, this was not a very smart thing to do, but to answer your question, I think this was why.
Like after round 2, when you look at her, she was like already sitting on the stool, huffing and puffing, and I'm just standing fresh.
So you knew early you were the better fighter.
Yeah, right. Like
I know you always. I know the confidence in boxing, but you knew you were in control.
No, right from half of round 1, I knew that I'm just gonna dominate and I'm just gonna keep coming and do me.
All right. So when they announced that you won, how did they announce it? Did they announce the draw guy first? The draw judge?
No, they announced him second.
Yeah, second.
Okay. That would have been a little, because if it's a majority draw, it's a draw, isn't it? If two judges would have had it 95-95, even if the other person had it 100-90 for you. So were you a little bit like, what are you talking about? Or did you just not even...
I was surprised. Everyone was surprised. So
us and the other 1,000 people in the venue, yeah.
So
all right, so you won, and then what did you do that night after you fought?
I just relaxed. Had one drink, not even a full drink.
What do you have, a Smirnoff Ice?
No, I actually had Coke with vodka.
Okay, Coke. Okay.
Didn't even have a whole drink, but I relaxed with my family, went to my sponsors, went to my fans, and enjoyed the night.
All right. Well, good for you.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you that you keep, because what's your record now? Is it 12-1?
12-1.
12-1 . Okay. And you don't know what's next. You got to line up something else. Okay. So few months, maybe you'll fight again?
Few months, maybe in 2 months, we'll see. We don't want to keep the spread too far apart, right? I want to be active, so I want to get in the next 3 months.
Okay. What did she say to you after the fight, by the way?
She said nothing.
Doesn't say good game? Or
she said good job. She tried her best in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
So English is not her first language, obviously. No. Okay. So, Derek, you're Alexis's dad, and what were we saying off air? Trainer and manager?
Yes.
So, what's your history, first of all, with the sport of boxing? Did you fight yourself?
No, I never did. I'm just, I really, what I do, I study boxing. I'm just a really big fan, and over the years, went through the motions and by being with my daughter, educated myself with the sport through her activity. And of course, to match her work, I have to match my education and well-being in a sport, and so this is how I arrive at it. But I genuinely have a very big interest in professional boxing. No MMA, nothing like that. Professional boxing, I know a little bit. But
do you have siblings?
Yes, an older sister.
Do they box? No. Did you want them to box, Derek?
Well, Alexis was playing all sports. She ended up boxing. Did I wanted her to? I introduced her to it, but she was playing hockey at that time, and she's just a natural athlete. She fits in. She's this type of an athlete that if you are a short one, she can come off the bench and fill at any sport.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So
just like if the Oilers need it today, because they're not doing so well.
No, they're not. Here, I'll put so you can see the game too. Yeah. I couldn't get to work on the TV. All right, so was your sister at the fight?
Yes, she was.
Okay, so you got who family? So mom, aunts, uncles, cousins, I don't know.
Everyone that could make it was there.
Who's the most nervous family member about you fighting?
Mom/dad. Dad doesn't want to show it because he's
Dad can't be. He's in the corner. He's got to be under control.
No, my wife is, and I'll tell you what happened. Let's call it what it is. Until Wednesday, my wife, her name is Gosia, she still had spasms in her back from being so tense. And finally, by Wednesday, she says, my back
after the fight,
her back is loosening up because she was so tense. Because what happened is, Farah was, like I said, like you said, professional boxing, especially the lead up, it is important to get under the people's skin and, derail their plans. Well, she got under my wife's skin, during the press conference and so on and so forth, the lead up, right? It's a different thing when you're talking about the opponent and the opponent is still sitting in Spain. Well, next thing you know, the opponent is sitting, across the room at the press conference and they start talking shit.
Right.
So that's what happens. So my wife was freaking out, and that's why she had the spasm.
Wow. Does the family all sit ringside or do the
ringside? My mom was literally right there, right in our corner.
And Dad's in the corner.
Yep.
And who else is actually in the corner?
I have my cutman, and I had 2 other helpers.
And they're people you've known for a long time.
Right. Yes. Part of the team, yeah. So
okay.
With everybody has jobs assigned to them, and so which they deliver brilliantly.
Okay, so for how long did you play hockey?
8 years, 9 years.
And did you play with boys or all girls?
Boys.
Okay, because I know something like there's a lot of all girls hockey now too. But
no, when I was playing, I was just playing with the boys.
What position were you?
Center.
Were you mean?
Oh, of course. Just like in the ring. No difference on the ice.
You're out of control. Yeah, you have to have your aggression go somewhere. And yes, if you're watching on YouTube, I've angled I couldn't get our ESTV to get the game, so that's why I've angled my computer. So Alexis and Derek, as soon as you brought up the Oilers, like she probably wants to watch too.
No, but the fans are the most important, so we should be paying attention and addressing.
Well, we do it all. There's a lot of people listening on the audio stream as well. All right, so what did you? I'm always curious about food and stuff. So what did you eat, or how soon did you eat after the fight?
An hour later, I went right to Fat Burger.
So that was your cheat meal.
Oh, yeah.
The Coke and vodka, and then
Of course, and a chicken burger.
you had a chicken burger
Yep.
at Fat Burger.
Exactly.
Because usually you eat a lot of steak and vegetables, right?
Yes, I'm getting back onto that next week.
Oh, next week. Okay, so it's been 13 days, 12 days since the fight.
Yes.
Have you trained at all?
I started this week. I started doing strength and conditioning, getting back into rhythm. Shape is still good, so we're just getting a little bit of the rust off.
Okay. So you feel good, though?
Oh, I feel great.
Were you pretty, like, when you woke up the day after the fight, how did you feel?
I wasn't too sore, but I was just tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still got hit, even though you were in control of the fight.
Yeah.
Well, there were a few bruises that she had, and there was the I think the emotional stress that the fight brings within itself, and that contributes to.
So what do you say to her in between rounds then?
You know what? This fight was brilliant.
Didn't have to say much.
Because I didn't have to say much. And
my dad was giving himself water.
And
That's how good the fight was going. He was
drinking.
talking to the commentators during the rounds.
Yeah,
He was
Kenny
sitting
Lacusta was
beside
sitting
us.
because they had their color commentating. Kenny Lacusta was right there, and I says, Kenny, can you believe this? I says, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I says, this is crazy. You know what? No, I didn't have to say too much because Alexis was doing exactly what she's supposed to do, and that will take us back to your initial question on the beginning as to. You said that she wasn't nervous. She said she wasn't nervous, and she said she did everything. You know how sometimes they say that in professional boxing, a fighter loses a fight, and they use that terminology when they say he aged over one fight.
Oh, okay.
Like they lose everything what they had. Well,
Right.
You know what happened? In this fight, Alexis went the other way. She went from that Alexis before, she looked brilliant.
Right.
I mean, she terrorized the woman in there. By the second round, if you take a look at the picture, Farah sat on a stool, and she probably was asking herself, she was looking for a door to get out of the arena. If she would find one, she would have leave.
Do you sit between rounds?
No.
She never
stand
sat.
the whole
No,
time?
I never sat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was that type of a performance where completely she crossed the bridge to the next level.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
this is where we go from there. Or from here, or from anywhere. I don't know.
Well, from anywhere. Now you got to find someone else who will.
Yeah, well,
who
from
will
here,
fight
we're going to
you.
go outside to our car, and then we're going to go home.
Right.
But in terms of
Finish
the
watching
boxing...
the game. Will you watch the game when you get home? Do
Oh,
you
I
watch all the games if you have time?
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. I watch all of them.
But once I see that they're down 2-3 goals,
They don't come back well, for a while they were coming back.
they were.
So
Until
what's going on with them? Is it mental or talent with the Oilers? You got an opinion?
No, it's more mental. It seems like they're not working as a team as much, and they're just trying to one-hand it right now. It's like no teamwork. They're like lost.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, I have a question. How do you have, at any given time, $100 million on the ice, and you cannot be winning?
Because they don't get to the front of the net.
Well,
which they just did there.
that's a very easy and quick answer. $100 million. It should get you to the net, should it not?
Well, sure, but the other team has that payroll too, right?
I know, but there's the $100 million plus and the coaching and the will and all that stuff,
for sure.
right? You know, it's you're thinking this is the highest level, right? But either way, I believe that they will come out of it and they will find a way to do it. And you know, in professional sports, more so in a team sports than individual ones, teams go through peaks and valleys. And I think
the
that
higher you go up, and you're going to keep learning this, the margin between victory and defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to keep fighting better and better fighters, and then it's very 1 or 2% could make the difference. Okay, so you have 3 belts.
Yes.
Okay, this might be a dumb question, but like in boxing, there's a lot of associations.
Mm-hmm.
So is one of your 3 belts more prestigious than the other 2? You know what I mean?
Yes. Actually, I'll let my dad talk this one through a bit.
That's an excellent question because
they're all titles.
They're all titles,
right.
but they
unlike any other sports, you know, in professional boxing, you have 4 major federations, right? And of course, always the WBC seems to be the leading one.
Okay.
WBA, WBO, and then IBF, and so on, right? So that's it. So everyone ultimately wants to, reach the most prestigious one, which is the green belt, which is Alexis has the ownership of the youth version,
the
right?
WBC,
right. Okay.
Now, the youth belt, we used it as a proper title in the proper time in her career. It's a title that is for athletes under 23. This is to underline her performance and take her to the next level and build her resume with. And so now we are no longer interested in this type of titles. We now want to build our position.
Right.
Alexis is ranked by all major organizations. She's ranked number 5 on BoxRec overall in the world right now. So we are going to be now competing, and competing maybe that's not so easy because there's a lot of political stuff that has to happen behind negotiations. Financials play a big role, but this is where we go. We're going to go for the major stuff now. But whatever happened up to this time, it is to build her resume, get her a great experience, and all of that has been accomplished.
Okay, well that's awesome. Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being a friend of the show and taking the time to come in. The Oilers and Islanders are scoreless 6 minutes into the first period. Well, the Oilers have had some chances. They do have a 9-2 advantage in shots on goal, and they've been busy around the net a couple of times. They got to keep doing that, eh?
They got to, or else I don't know if they'll make the playoffs if they keep up with the losing streak.
Well, I know. Well, I said if they keep going 357 points percentage, that only gets them to 90.
Well, I think that they will turn it around. In closing, quickly, when you were talking,
your dad's great, eh? He just takes over.
No, but this is interesting.
And this is what my dad wants me to start doing.
When we talked about team's performance, unlike the team sports, Oilers, football, basketball, of that, the professional boxing, which ultimately makes professional boxing in general, the toughest sport in the world, you're only as good as your last fight.
Right.
Now, by next weekend, nobody will remember who Oilers lost or beat a week before because they play 3 times a week or 2 times a week. She fights 3 times a year. So you see the difference, the pressure, the mental preparation. So the build-up to perform on a day off, avoid everything else, injuries, whatever else, can happen on the way too. It's a massive build-up.
That's a great way to put
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is so that's the difference. Now imagine only if Oilers could pack that mental preparation and spread it evenly, they wouldn't lose a game in a whole season.
Right. They have had they almost scored there. See, Wallman got that shot? The new guy?
Right down the...
Yeah, I know. Well, they got to keep firing away.
I'll tell you one thing quickly. If you're ever looking for a sidekick commentator, Alexis loves sports. So if you want to put a segment about professional boxing,
we'll keep having you on. Like,
apprentice. There's your apprentice.
Thanks for coming in.
Derek,
thanks for coming in.
You guys are great.
Congratulations. Keep going. Keep in touch. Enjoy your weekend, okay?
Yes, you too.
All right, we're going to take a quick time. We're back with the word of the day. The Coop's going to give you the word of the day.
Max Jones returning to the Oilers lineup. Matthias Janmark sitting out, and Calvin Picker gets a start in between the pipes. Oilers taking on the Islanders. That one's just about 6 minutes into the game. 5 other games around the NHL. Red Wings leading 1-0 on the Hurricanes. Alex DeBrincat scoring his 31st of the season. Later, the Avs challenge the Flames. Captain Michael Bunting is out week to week with a lower body injury. Then it's the Kraken and Hockey Club dropping the puck. Nashville on the road in Anaheim, while the Stars and Jets butt heads. And fresh off being cut by the Rams earlier this week, Cooper Kupp is headed to the Seahawks. He signs a 3-year, $45.5 million deal. He recorded 6 touchdowns and over 700 yards last season. 10 games on tap in the NBA. 3 games are live, including the Pacers trailing the 76ers 35-22 in the second, and Boston holds Miami 37-34, about 6 minutes from halftime. And Luka Doncic sits out against the Nuggets. The LA Superstars battling a left calf injury and an ankle sprain. Out in Vancouver, the U of A Pandas tip off with the SMU Huskies for the U Sports Consolation Semifinal. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The Reed Wilkins Show wraps up with the word of the day on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubicki, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. Learn more about safety supervision, scheduling, cost control, and most importantly, how to lead a team. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
The EST Hangout.
Speaking of weather today, while I was shoveling my snow and my back was hurting and it was -20, and I thought of one man came on this program and talked about how the winter was over. It wasn't going to be -20 anymore. It might snow, but it'll be melting immediately. Matthew Iwano.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Boxer Alexis Kubicki and her dad Derek were in studio, fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Oilers and Islanders scoreless, 8.5 minutes left in the first period. Oilers are actually playing, well, they have more pressure for sure. They don't look too bad in this game, have not been able to score, though. All right, word of the day to wrap up the week. Jay's away, so Coop's giving me the word.
Well, it's a pleasure to do the word of the day here today, and I think I can pronounce this one. Overfastidious. Overfastidious is the word of the day.
Overfastidious?
Overfastidious, yes.
Overfastidious.
Bang on. Bang on job. I don't have the ding noise.
That's okay.
You got that right. You got that first point.
So this would be excessively detailed and particular.
That's bang on. Excessively attentive to and concerned about accuracy and detail. Kind of like persnickety. That's what I took.
No, I don't know. Oh, really?
It was a synonym
well,
of it, so.
I'm certainly fastidious. Perhaps I'm overly fastidious. Good word, buddy. I got it, though. 2 for 2.
That was good.
All right.
You got that quick.
Coop, thanks for doing that. So here's what's happening. This show is over. Live programming on Edmonton Sports Talk today is not over. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will be on at the conclusion of the Oilers-Islanders game to break it down. That game currently scoreless with about 7 minutes left in the first period. On behalf of the Coop, I'm Reed. Have a great weekend.
Quality building materials and friendly advice, visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Hockey insider Chris Johnston with us. You had that tweet about Trent Frederick and when he may or may not return.
I heard it was going to be at least 4 weeks when he went out. I think he got injured around February 25th. Just you're looking at another week from now. I don't know if there's some room to play with in there. If it's, if he can play with some discomfort, if the Oilers would even want that. I talk about time being of the essence for the team to gel and find itself.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southfort Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? Southfort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with Southfort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The Canadian Brewhouse wing flavors of the month are going head-to-head. Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce. Head to the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night to cast your vote. Great wings, cold drinks, and an atmosphere you won't forget. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.